Do you want to win free tickets to the Quest Kickboxing event May 31st at the venue in Peterborough? It's easy. All you have to do is like and share an episode of 646 and tag a friend that you think would enjoy the fights. That is Quest Kickboxing May 31st at the venue in Peterborough. Doors open at 6, fights start at 7. I'll see you there. Welcome to 646, where rhythm meets grit, and every story hits like a kick drum. I'm Dawson McManus, your guide through the wild ride of life, feet on the stage or on the mat. It's the soul of music and the minds and philosophy of the arts. We're diving deep into the craft, the chaos, and the skills that make it all flow. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to 646. My name is Dawson McManus. Thank you so much to Pet Rock Radio for distributing the show, Treblecock Studios for letting us record here, Mad Sound Dynamics for their cymbal shields, and if you use the checkout code 646, you get 10% off any of your cymbal shields, and for ANS Performance, use the link in the description to get 10% off of any supplements that they provide. Today in the studio on Zoom, we have James Dalzell. He is the CEO of the OFF, and he was the first Canadian Bareknuckle Boxing Champion and MMA fighter and just martial artist for a very long time. And hockey player too, right?
Sure, yeah. It's, all the things.
Right on, man. That's awesome. I guess, did hockey came first?
Well, technically, I guess I started in karate, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I started at a super young age of playing karate. That's hilarious. I got into karate super young, and it really helped with discipline and learning just a martial art. And I took a lot of stuff in from that. Just as a human, there was a lot of, really good lessons to be learned in that. And from going to karate, I was pretty competitive in it. I competed. I didn't actually get past my white belt. I didn't stay in karate very long, but the amount that I won a couple tournaments, and then I started playing hockey actually. So got into hockey. Played that for a number of years. I ended up playing junior. When I got to junior, I became the enforcer somehow. I've never been a big guy, but I guess everybody used to say put a pair of skates and a helmet on me, and I was a maniac. And I just ended up getting into a lot of hockey fights. Loved that, and got into boxing once hockey was done. And really my passion, my whole time growing up, I wanted to be a boxer. Actually, I told my sensei in karate that I wanted to be a professional boxer. That was just, I have no idea why. That was just something I said. And my sensei was like, no, boxers are idiots. Don't do that. Basically talked me out of it. And, that's a person that I looked up to and I respected their opinion. So I basically let that slide. I just forgot about it for a long time. And then when I became 18 and I was old enough to, because my mom never wanted me boxing either, I started taking lessons. Started competing in boxing, loved that, and I actually had a number of concussions through hockey,
right?
And with the concussions, I was told that I shouldn't be playing any contact sports anymore. That was almost 15 years ago, and
wow.
Just with COVID, I started thinking I was starting to get in competitive mode right before COVID. I was training to do track. I was running sprints. I used to do track and field in high school. So I figured, it's not contact. I wanted to get into some competitive stuff. And I was actually training to do the Masters, the World Championships that were going to be in Toronto in 2020. But 2020 came along and everything got shut down, including those World Championships. And I started thinking about fighting again. I was getting into really competitive mode. I was in the best shape of my life. And I started thinking hey, I haven't had any concussion symptoms in a long time. Maybe I could fight. My wife was not for that at all. But she said, hey, if a doctor clears you, no problem, thinking that there was no chance it would happen. And lo and behold, I got cleared by doctors. I got my professional boxing license almost 2 years ago now. And I started fighting bare knuckle professionally last year.
Holy shit, man. That's so crazy. If you don't mind me asking, how many concussions did you accrue? Do you know the total?
So to be honest, I don't actually know. There was at least like three major ones.
Yeah.
I had one I rolled a Packer. The big rollers that flatten the ground.
Mhm.
I was working construction and was on top of like a mountain. It was an Ontario mountain, so it wasn't like, it wasn't the craziest, but it was a pretty big. It was a little mountain, and I was going towards the edge. So then, like the dozer operator kept telling me to get closer to the edge, and I ended up going over the machine tipped and went down the edge. Luckily enough, I grabbed the side, but I smashed my head off of it when it made impact, and that was like the first real like major concussion. Um, and I had other ones in hockey, but back that was 25 years ago when there wasn't the knowledge there was for concussions. So, I'd fight a guy or get hit and then go right back out on the ice and do it again. And so I'd probably more concussions than need to think about or talk about. But there was definitely more than three major ones for sure.
Yeah, that's wild. I've had a handful myself, so I feel you. They're no joke, and people sometimes maybe don't understand that even micro concussions too. Like every time you see that flash of light, that's a little zinger, and that shit accumulates too.
Yeah,
so
big time. And that's one of the cool things about like what with off that I'm trying to do with this fight federation is really the awareness, the concussion awareness, because it's something like you said, people don't realize all those little things, they add up. And I'd never been knocked out in my life. Like I'd been concussed, been, close to it, and just suffered my first knockout in a fight like last June, almost a year ago now. And it was, clearly get concussed from getting knocked out, but it was just a whole new experience and a weird one, right? Like, because they do add up. I've been hit so many times, seen those flashes, been out of my feet and dazed and stuff, and once you get concussed, you're susceptible for more.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like every time you get really rocked, it's a little bit easier the next time. I've heard a few people talk about it this way, and I totally agree. It's like a punch card, and you really only get so many. You get so many holes to punch before that's kind of it. And I started in just to give you some background. I started in judo when I was 4. Switched to taekwondo until when I was 5, and I did that up until I was 13, and then karate from 13 to 19, and then took like a 15, 16-year hiatus for music, and then maybe just before COVID, actually, right before COVID, I'm like, I'm going to get back into martial arts, and then I got into Muay Thai and BJJ, and then it's been kind of staggered because of the lockdowns, and then you get also with the music thing, like I can't commit the same amount of time that I wish I could, because I'm on the road and I have to practice, and if I had one kickboxing fight with a show, like a music show, scheduled the day after, and I was like, oh, this is a huge mistake. I should this is brutal. I can't concentrate properly. My whole body hurts. Like I'm pretty active most of the time. I'm pretty active on stage, and the next day I was just like, no, man, I'm gonna stand perfectly still and just like.
I feel you on that.
Because like those, I'm not super slick at checking leg kicks. And so I was just hamburger, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not moving. So, yeah, I feel you on those, like having I guess a pathway for your fighters in your organization, not only for longevity, which is fucking awesome, because a lot of promoters, I mean, I don't want to talk too much shit about them, but a lot of promoters really view the fighters as, this is a means to an end. They don't see the human as much. Not all promotions, but a lot are like, cool, I'm gonna wring you dry, and then best of luck. And the fact the fact that you are trying to create a pathway for people to not just be a husk after their fight game is done, like that's pretty admirable, man. Like not a lot of people care about that.
I appreciate that, and I really stand by that. As a fighter, for fighters is kind of what the whole thought was on that. I started it with Gary Goodrich too. I don't know if you know.
Oh, Big Daddy. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, buddy. So it was kind of very very hit home, right? Like he's kind of like a known case of CTE.
Yeah.
Like one of the few that like you usually can't find that out until somebody's passed and you're looking at the brain when it's when you're looking at it open and stuff, but
Yeah.
he clearly has had it, dealing with it, and it's something that it's very prevalent in the fight game, and again, somebody as a fighter that's kind of trying to make a living out of it, it's hard to do. And I'm working with all these young fighters and teaching them like how to make a career out of it and how to take care of their self, their body, their minds, and yeah, like the main thing with that is not to treat them like pieces of meat. Like the fighters are what makes the promotion, and they're the entertainment, and they're the value. And I want to give them their props and give them their moment and make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, and that's really awesome that it's recognized too. Because if you don't have fighters, then you don't have fights to promote. So it makes sense. It makes sense, but also like it's one of those things too that until you see someone else doing it, you're like, oh, why does nobody else really do that? Especially because I was reading up on your website too that you guys have career paths like to help people transition when they're getting out of the game as well, not just for mental health and physical health and just not letting your body completely break down, but also like here's what is possible for you after, because the clock beats everybody. There's and there's no escape. Like at least I know for me, I'm going to be 40 in August, and I've only ever done amateur competition. I was never serious enough to try to go pro. It just, music is what always calls me at the end of the day to do that thing. And I'm sure you've seen it with lots of fighters. If you've only got one foot on the mat, then you're going to get smoked every time. And luckily I have good friends that are like, hey man, maybe maybe just amateur, because you're going to get starched. And which I've been fucked up a few times by people, even just in amateur fights. It's like there's some heavy dudes that
Yeah, you can't play the fight game. Like it's not,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's
you notice fast, right? If you're not all in, yeah, even the amateurs, a lot of guys are like living that, like, and just their whole life.
yeah, yeah. Well, and that's why it's not called you don't play fight, you fight. So this, I play guitar, I don't fight guitar. So it's and but the fact that you guys have potential career paths, because as I'm sure too, like so many dudes, their whole and gals too, their identity is I'm a fighter, and then that's, I imagine that would have to be a really hard transition of, well, now not even just what do I do, but who am I? Like that's
100%, man. It's and you see it, right? Like fighters are a different breed. You kind of know, like you've been when you're in the game and you're there and you're part of it, you like doing it. It's a different mentality and a different breed. And yeah, fighters are fighters until the end, and it's hard. It is a hard transition, but that's what I'm trying to teach these kids too. Like you want to be a pro fighter, amazing, but like it's like acting and music, like being a musician. These are like you can't just get in there and do it. It's going to take your life. It's going to take
yeah,
so much dedication, so much sacrifice. And then, one wrong move and your career's over too. Like, so I want to tell these guys, you got to take care of yourself, and we need to have, I'm not a plan B guy, but you need backups. You need to have something to fall back on, like not only in case it doesn't pan out, but one wrong move, you snap your arm the wrong way, you get hit the wrong way, and your career's done.
yeah. Well, like,
Really trying to take care of guys that way. I'd like to start like a union of some sort or something, you know what I mean? But like a fighters union, there's been talks of that for a long time, and it's just something that like it's needed. Take
yeah,
care of our fighters, man.
yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, luckily in Canada, our healthcare system doesn't leave you completely destitute if you break your leg. But I mean, still, like, if your income is fighting, and then you can't do that if you have no means of generating income, like, is a scary thing. In my hometown here, Peterborough, we have this thing called the Peterborough Musicians Benevolent Association, which is almost like it's not the musicians union. That's a different thing, but this is like if somebody slips and falls and snaps their wrist or something and can't play a gig, this organization comes in and actually floats them money, and it's all charity based. Like, they raise money from the community, and then if somebody gets in a hard spot, someone else will let the board know, hey, this cat needs help. They swoop in and drop them some dough, and it's been very effective, and it's really cool. So, I mean, even if, like, I think a fighters union is a great idea, but if you need something like right away, that might not be a bad idea, where it's like fighters supporting fighters, and then the friends and family and the community gets involved, and all that kind of stuff it's been really effective here. Like, I know quite a few people in the last couple of years. Actually, the organization has shelled out something crazy like over 10 grand to help people.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, it's sweet. And like, as soon as the lockdowns happened here, I think it was like maybe a month into the lockdowns, I got a call from one of the heads being like, hey man, are you okay? How you doing? Is everything all right? And I'm lucky. I'm in a position where I'm a session player. You do music, so you probably know what a session player is. Okay. So I have a studio in my basement, so I can fly tracks to people. So, I was able to make just enough money to be okay. And luckily my wife's job was deemed essential. So we still had maybe like 3/4 of our normal income. So that helped, but it was like, but the fact that they called almost immediately just to find out if I was all right, it's like, oh man, it's good to know this is here. And for those that aren't in that position, it's like, you should call this cat because they're going to be hard up. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a great model, and I think it could easily be applied to fighters.
Yeah, that's wicked, man. Great. That's a great idea. Thank you. I definitely will. Well, yeah, because starting a union is a pretty big undertaking, and that's
Yeah.
like a whole other thing. But something like that would be awesome.
Yeah, and and then something that could be cool too potentially is if you've got your own fight promotion, you could have a portion of the gate go into that pot.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, we were looking into like not for profit and like starting a foundation kind of thing. And that maybe that ties into it. That's a great idea. I love it. Awesome, man. Look at that. Coming up
Yeah,
with ideas here. It's great.
there you go, man. Well, I mean, and obviously, like you've been a fighter forever. It's like, it's so easy to worship those people, and it's because it's so hard. It's so hard. And then when you try it yourself, you're like, holy shit. And then you look at somebody like, I don't know, like for boxers, if you look at like Bernard Hopkins or Muhammad Ali, obviously Joe Frazier, like any of those cats, you're just like, good God, I can't believe you did this at the top of the world. You are a living superhero. So, it's I have the utmost respect, like, and I always will, like, to the day I die. Like, it's weird. It's like a little bit of idol worship in a way. Like, it's too cool. It's too cool, and it's so fun. It is super fun. And something that I think is really interesting that I think more people need to know about is how cerebral martial arts actually is, because most like not even casuals, like people that are like really removed, think it's just a bunch of meatheads trying to beat the shit out of each other, and I don't think that's the case. And I'd love to hear your take.
Yeah, man. Like that's what I love the most about it. Like I like fight IQ and stuff. Like people don't realize it's like a chess game, man. Like it is. mentally, like you sure you got two dudes, the toughest guy, like oh whatever, but mentally, like what it takes to even get in there and focus and do your job is ridiculous. Like you can, yeah, you hear meatheads and people think all fighters are all stupid. Like if you want to be a good fighter, you need to be intelligent. Like you have to have a game plan. You need to feel this like in real time, figure out what you're doing. Yeah, it's a computer game, a chess match. It's like the most scientific thing. You're in there and you just feel like or it looks like you're just a couple flailing lunatics going at it or whatever, but like it's the thought process and everything behind it, man. It's nuts. Yeah, you have to, again, you don't have to be, but when you start to look at some of the greatest fighters, you look at the Muhammad Ali's, even the Mike Tyson, you would have thought Tyson forever. What a dummy. You listen to that guy speak, you're like, that guy has done so much up here.
Oh my God.
Like incredible, right? Like you have to, the mindset is the magic behind it all. Like an athlete's mentality is just, and then a fighter's on top of that is just a whole different breed.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, I think what it can really do is hone a person's potential. And this is it for anybody that's never done it. This might sound insane, but starting out as a martial artist is what taught me how to be a good musician, because you rep the same moves over and over and over again until you can do it automatically. Because the last thing you want, as I'm sure you know, the last thing you want to do in a fight is think about what to do next, because by the time the thought goes through, it's too late and you've been pieced up. It's like 3-4 shots, 3-4 shots. Yeah, 3-4 shots. You're like, oh no. Okay, what's next? And it's too late. It's too late. You need to just react and act.
Man, 100%. And actually, I was talking about that the first time I was knocked out. That was like exactly it. You take your mind off the thing for a second, and it's done. Like the time I got knocked out, I remember I had a game plan. I went in, and then right off the bat, I was going to pounce, and the guy took a step backwards. And it just completely threw me off. I just didn't expect it. I thought we would just both clash, and just that step backwards made me go, huh? And then I got, you can't stop and think about what you're doing. Even the last fight was the same. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna win this. And as soon as I had that thought, you lose focus of what you're doing. Like you can't get out of it. Like it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny because it's very similar in music. Is the second I think about, I'm nailing this tune. Well, now you're not thinking about what you should be playing, and now you're starting to play potentially wrong notes, or your timing's a little off, or some, you know what I mean? And timing in music, just like in fighting, huge, right? It's so important. And making reads, being improvisational, all that kind of stuff, and like knowing it just so in your bones by the time you get on stage or get in the ring or the cage or whatever you happen to be doing. Like it needs to be so ingrained that it's almost not even you. Like it's like another, I don't know, it's just your body just moves, and it's almost like an alien's driving you from somewhere else.
Yes, and I've felt that in music more recently too. Just like when like I'm a rapper and just used to freestyle a lot, just not really know the songs and just rip on stuff when I got up there. And the difference when you know your stuff and you're dead, like it's your out of body experience, and just like somebody else is in control, you just know it that well, right? That's when you know you're nailing it. When you don't think about it. And it's just almost like somebody else is in control, but yeah, you just 100%. Know it that well.
Yeah, and I really think that thought process and that not just thought process, but like a skill building process, at least in my experience, everything that I was taught from martial arts at a young age, is the same thing that is translated into whatever I've wanted to get good at. I apply the same approach to everything. The only difference really is that the consequences of fucking up, say in podcasting or playing music, is not the same consequence as getting kicked in the liver. You know, that feels very different.
Very true. That is very true.
Then or you know, or like whatever, like, oh god, actually it's funny, I took my first like legit liver shot 2 years ago. Holy shit, dude. That is like
fun. Oh man, just thinking about it is, yeah, you're lucky. It's a lucky that it's not a common thing you get hit with, but when you do, holy what, it's
yeah.
not nice.
So one time I just didn't keep my elbows in, you know what I mean? And my head striking coach is always like, elbows in, and I didn't do it that one time, and clang, just ate this huge left kick, southpaw too, so it was this power kick.
Oh,
yeah, it was brutal. I was like, I might throw up.
Oh, it's the worst. Just instant, like, hit the mat. Like, it's just,
yeah,
not fun.
Yeah, and what a big thing that I admire about dudes that are doing it at the levels that you and your fighters are doing it at is that you guys recover from that and think your way through. And like, that is so crazy. Like, I thought I got shot. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And, you know, and like, I made it to the bell, but like, Jesus Christ. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is brutal. This is not fun. And when you see somebody come back from that and actually, like, when that overcoming adversity is so admirable, and it just freaks me out, the fact that it's humanly possible at all. And then you think about how many people are actually doing it and what level they're doing it at. You're like, holy shit, this is so crazy.
It's wild, but it's cool, right? Like, yeah, like you said, it's just like it's a whole different level of mentality. Like, you know what I mean? You can get through that shit, and it's like a great life lesson, like you said, with martial arts too. When like learning that in karate, just that instilled into me at a young age of like, you can go through the bumps and the bruises, you can get shit on, you can get kicked, and you can just keep going forward. And that's the fight game, you know, and the Rocky mentality, and just like, just as long as you can get up and keep going, like it's here, right? It's all up here, and your heart, the heart and head
Yeah.
is like the key, and it's a life lesson, really, right? Like to me, the fighting thing is just a good like life lesson. Just keep going forward and pushing through and get up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just, it's such a cool way to also the community. Like when you get in with especially like good training partners, those people are like family, and fast too. And I think that's maybe something that, again, a lot of people on the outside don't see a whole lot is, again, they see like all these bruises, like, wow, you beat the shit out of your friends. It's like, no, I mean kind of, but not also not really. Like,
Right.
you know, we have to push each other and test ourselves, but we're not looking to just starch each. Like, gym wars, luckily, are becoming more and more a thing of the past. At least in my experience. I don't know. Like when you hear those crazy stories about Shoot the Box and Tiger MMA and like all those places where you're like, oh, these dudes just fuck each other up. Like, that seems to be less and less, you know, and people are trying to be smarter about it. Like, you hear, like when Max Holloway, when it was like the Blessed era, he wasn't even sparring for a while.
I love that. Like that's kind of where I've been taking my training and with my kids. Like we can spar hard, but you know, you can stop that punch before you drill him in the head. Like let's throw hard, but let's keep it let's not hammer each other. Like you said, all those shots count. I
Yeah.
don't want you to waste a fucking shot in the head while you're like practicing. Like let's not do that.
No.
That's kind of the Holloway thing. I was so thrilled to hear that because I was like, I kind of stopped sparring for a while because people were headhunting when you're sparring. I was getting like just like hammered, and I was like, whoa, guys, like if I'm getting punched where I'm starting to see fucking spots, that's probably too much. Sorry about the F-bomb.
Oh, sorry. I should probably let you know we're allowed to swear on the show.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. It's internet radio, so we've yeah. And then yeah, no, I mean, fuck it, dude. Like musicians, fighters, we're all pretty. I think for the most part, very like chill people, but maybe a little crass, Also, yeah, like, also like, Jesus, you're doing dangerous shit. There's no time to be prim and proper.
True. Very true.
And, also like we've both been hit in the head a few times. Sometimes you forget and you're like, well, probably shouldn't have said butt fucker, but all right, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes,
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, but that's great.
I'm sorry. But I don't like, and again, like just with being kind of crass, martial arts, the word art is right in it. It's an art form, and most artists are a little bit, we're a little on the edge in one way or another, like
A little something different there.
yeah. And yeah, and something that I do like to talk about too, just like with the music to martial arts comparison, like building up the techniques and everything like that. I look at that very much in the same way that like learning chord progressions and scales and the modes within it and different harmony ideas, different rhythm ideas, all that kind of stuff. It's like it's all contextual. Like it all totally exists, but some of it is totally inappropriate for that moment, but then some of it is exactly what you should do in this moment. And that's one of the things that I like to try to talk to people about, that question, like, why do you do this? It's like so barbaric. It's like, well, no, it's a real thought experiment, because you have to, in the moment, you got to pick the right idea out of all of these potentials that you do know how to do. What's happening around that idea is what's going to dictate the right move. And that's like, man, like it kind of harkens back to what we were talking about before. Like you kind of have to let the flow state take over. And I think that is something that is so totally missed by the normies, if I can use a derogatory.
Damn normies out there.
Like, cause it's so, and it's artistic too, because you have this whole bag of tricks. It's like, okay, how do I put these together to hit and not get hit, or submit and not be submitted, or, there's some dudes that just play for position and points and shit like that. And that's, that's a strategy. And that's the other thing too, is the whole strategic side to it is like, a lot of people ignore it, and they just want to see blood. And which, let's face it, is fun when you see somebody get busted open. You're like, oh my God. Like,
well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've gone in. I like to entertain. I'm an entertainer, right? Like I'm a rapper, an actor, a fight. Like I fight because I think personally it's what I can entertain the most with. Again, music, massive passion for me. I've said for a long time, for me to get out of the fight game, like, yeah, if I was a touring musician and like doing that, I'd for sure give up the fight game for that. Like that's with you. I love it. I love it. But to me, what I found is that the fight thing is I can entertain more people. I've noticed all the stuff I do, the fight thing, people are drawn to. It's like an instant, people love it, right? Like hockey fights, everybody went bananas. That's why I love to do it. It's just I love to entertain the crowd, and that's the strategic thing. I could go and outpoint a guy. I can throw so many punches and get away, but I want to put on a show, and I want to stand there and bang, and I'm getting knocked out or you're getting knocked out, and that's how it's gonna go. Like as much as we talk about the strategic, and I know it too, but I also am a showman, and I know that like if I'm just piecing you apart and getting points, that's okay, and whatever. That's how you win. But I'm it sounds stupid to even say it, but I want to entertain the crowd. I want to put on a show.
yeah, well, and it's exciting. Like you can't deny, and I don't think anybody can, like, even people that are like, oh, I don't like fighting. I don't like any kind of violence. If a fight broke out in the restaurant that you're eating dinner in, you're probably going to just watch it happen. Like, you might think, oh shit, this is kind of scary, because it is, like, physical consequences are real. But at the same time, 99% of the people that are like, oh, I don't like violence, they're going to pull out their fucking phone and they're going to
Yeah, 100%.
and they're going to record it. It's like, so
No one's doing this.
Yeah.
No one's turning their everybody's watching it. Let's not lie.
And like, if they are doing this, it's this.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah. Oh, I can't watch.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, and it just, I don't know. I find it all very, very exciting, and the promotion that you've got too. I don't want to do the spoiler. I'll let you do it. But you have a commentator that works for you. That's a big deal.
Yeah, well, we got a couple, like, I'm blessed that I've just, I'm a pretty amicable guy. I make friends pretty well. I like to give back, and most people I meet have a good experience meeting me. So I've got to meet some decent people in my life. I know who you're talking about. I imagine we're talking about the monster, Kyle Nelson. Is that who you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, we're gonna have Kyle commentating. It's pretty exciting. Another 705er, which is pretty wicked too. He's out in the Huntsville, Bracebridge area, but yeah, we're all the 705, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, just a great guy, really awesome dude. A fighter's fighter. I went and trained with him a couple times. Just went and met him, and we've got along really well. I told him I was going to be running this thing, and asked if he wanted to be part of it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll commentate or whatever." And I was like, "Wicked," he's still under contract with the UFC, because I was like, "Hey, let's get you fighting on this. That'd be the ultimate thing." I was like gonna propose that we fight, but that would have been kind of ridiculous too. But just is cool to me. Like, again, I'm the kind of guy that I like to test myself. I did my bare knuckle fights. I won my debut, and then I went on to fight like one of the best featherweights in Canada, like a legend of MMA. Tim Tamaki
Yeah.
he's had over 50 pro MMA fights. He's been doing it for 20 years pro, and that was my first year of pro. It was my second professional fight, and but I was like, I told everybody, I believe that I can be the top of the world at this weight class. So, man, I'm not going to turn down that fight. Give me the best guy. Like, I believe that I can stand there and bang with him.
Man, that is so ballsy for your second fight. Like,
Yeah, maybe stupid. It might not have, like, in hindsight, maybe a fucking dumbass thing to do, and then to take a rematch. But whatever. That's me. Like, I legit, I pride myself in being Gary Goodrich's first student and first guy that he's managed, and that's my mentality. Anybody, anytime, any place, I don't give a shit. Bring them. Like, that's my mentality, and I stand by it. And there's not many guys that do. And as a promoter and a matchmaker now, I'm noticing that. And those are the guys that, and I realize now too, promotions are like, man, I love you. You're awesome. Because I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Bring it. Who cares? Last minute fights. Yeah, change. I don't care. I'm in. And those guys are so few and far between, man. Like, and I'm noticing now. I just thought, you're a fighter. You're a fighter. That's how all fighters are. But it's not. It's there's a reason why Gary Goodrich was called the gatekeeper, and everybody respected him so much, because he just took any fight. You
Yeah.
look at his resume; it's ridiculous. Like,
Dude, the names that dude has faced, and some of them that he's beaten to, like, and in like pretty wild fucking fashion too. That's another dude that is not only a good fighter, but he's an entertainer.
oh, exactly. And I love him. Like, it only makes sense that I would work with him. I've been messaging him forever. And actually, when I started boxing, it was boxing in Barrie at Uptown, and he was at that
Cool.
gym. So I'd actually like work. I'd punch Gary in the face before sparring. It was hilarious. Like, we'd sparred, and he wouldn't hit anybody. His training was just go in the middle of them. I wouldn't hit him. I couldn't. He was getting pissed off at me because I couldn't just hit a guy whose hands were down. I didn't care how big he was. I'm not gonna cork a guy that's not putting his hands up. So he actually hit me because I wouldn't hit him. It was pretty awesome. You
That's
probably
great.
remember that story, but it was pretty cool. And then yeah, like that mentality and that's that I love that. And now being a promoter and being able to find those guys, like when you find those guys, holy jeez, it's those are your guys, man. Like
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's those kind of people in, I think, almost any field that are like, yes, let's go, let's get the job done, let's work, and it's those are the people that they keep getting the call back, and then they just usually anyway keep leveling up, especially because a lot of the time when you just get thrown into the deep end right away, you get that rub where you're like, oh, I've not seen this level before. And there's a little bit of that osmosis that you get just from being around somebody that is levels higher than you. And you're like, okay, I got to. And then also, too, like if you're either listening back to a performance you did that you could do better, or if you're watching a fight that you did where you're like, I see where I fucked up, you can analyze yourself and then you can take the steps to improve that, and iron out those wrinkles or plug up those holes or whatever analogy you want to use to improve. And it all goes back to like what we were talking about when you're a kid taking karate. It just gives you that mentality from day one. It's like, okay, how do I get better? What's next? How do I don't know, like, and it's not even, or at least I don't see it this way anyway. It's not a vanity thing. It's just it's this quest for knowledge and self-improvement, because that every time you get that next thing, you get such a hit from it. You're like, oh yeah, let's fucking do more of this, and it feels so good. It's, I don't know, like man, even just probably can't see it on the camera, but like every time I talk about this shit, it makes the hairs on my.
I'm getting them. I'm getting them. It's yeah. I love it. You're getting me going. Like it isn't everybody, right? You're right. When you find those people that are just like they want to level, you drive each other, and they're few and far between, right? Like I've had to stop hanging out with a lot of friends because it's just they're different mentalities, right? And you start to become who you hang out with, right? Like that's part of the thing, right? You become who you surround yourself with. So if you want, and if you're the person that keeps leveling up, you need to get around those people. And
Yeah.
I could just tell, like Chris was saying, he was excited for us to chat, and I had no wonder. I can feel it.
Yeah, man, you're cool. You're cool. You're cool as shit, man. I like you. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, man, you become who you hang out with is such a powerful statement. And like, I think it is super important to surround yourself with people that can show you the way to whatever it is that, or maybe not even show you the way, but like they've got a different take on how to do it, and they're, even if the skill sets aren't like completely unbalanced where they're like maybe all the way up here, but certain aspects of what they do are up here, and yours might, for that one thing, yours might be down here and theirs is up here, but for other stuff, and then you can kind of help balance each other out. And like there are a couple of bands that I play with where there are certain aspects where I am more knowledgeable than some of my bandmates, but then there are other things that I'm like a fucking infant, and they, and they've got a like as an example, like some of my friends have a killer business acumen. That's not me, unfortunately. I wish it were, but I just want to make shit, and then as soon as I'm finished making that thing, I'm like, cool, let's make the next thing. But then I don't know how to sell it. So, luckily though, I have friends that are like, I'm going to sell this $5 postcard for $20. So, which I've seen happen.
Those are good friends to have, man. Have in the same boat. It's like go, do, but how do we make money out of this? I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, shit, man. Like, I saw that you've got a fight card coming up pretty soon with OFF. I assume that's gonna make some dough.
You hope it's wild, right? Like it's selling well and it's looking pretty good, but it's a startup business, right? Like there's a lot of fees, there's a lot of things. So, I hope it should do okay. It's got potential to be a massive thing, but it's ground floor. It's a brand new business, right? So like any single business, it's we gotta grow, gotta make it happen. So
Yeah.
so it's scary, but yeah, it's that, and that isn't my business etiquette. That's my like this is something that I think needs to happen. Ontario only has very limited, professional big organizations, and when I started it, OFF was going to be the Ontario Fight Federation. I wanted, was going to be Ontario's thing, and I was excited about it. But to me, it was too small of an idea. I wanted to go international with it. I want to take it all over the place, and also like bare knuckle is the reason why I got into this. I think bare knuckle for one is the most exciting. Like it's so exciting, and two, it's safe. It sounds ridiculous, but it's safer than traditional boxing because like the reason why they made boxing gloves was to make the fights last longer. And
Yeah.
you're just taking way more abuse and beating. The head trauma is something I'm very, very passionate about trying to protect athletes' heads. And bare knuckle boxing is way safer. There's so many studies. It's been proven that like traditional boxing is actually a lot more dangerous, and even MMA is as well, right? Like just the superficial, right? I've got so many compliments of like, oh man, like how are you a fighter? You're so good looking, which is amazing because like thanks for anybody that's ever said that. but I got scars all over my face, and that's like, but that's they heal, right? And that's with bare knuckle, you're gonna get cut up. It's gonna look bad, but you're gonna heal. And then but you can't you're gonna get 500-600 punches in the head in boxing in a bout, and that repeated over, and then with the sparring and the training, like you're going to get brain damage. It's just like it's inevitable.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, something funny on that topic. I was talking with a guy last night. He was the owner of this venue. Sorry, I hope you don't mind this total departure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everybody that came out last night to Sarah Jane Riley's show at the Super Wonder Gallery. We sold out. It was awesome. Everybody. It was the album release party. So thank you so much to everybody for coming. It was super fun. Anyway, the owner of the club and I were talking. He was talking to the lead singer, Sarah Jane Riley, and he was like, one of the guys in your band is like an MMA fighter. I'm like, well, no, I'm not. I was like, I do Muay Thai and I do Jiu-Jitsu, but I've never had an MMA fight. And he's like, oh, okay. But anyway, we ended up talking about a lot of MMA, and where I was talking about sparring and stuff. He's like, oh, don't you wear a helmet? I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, sometimes. He's like, yeah, and he said this thing that I found kind of shocking. He's like, to help absorb, the impact. I'm like, no, it's to prevent cuts. Like the helmet doesn't. That's not going to do shit, man. Like, no, not for getting your bell rung. And I was like, it's the same thing with gloves, man. The gloves are to protect my hands, not your face. And a lot of people, like sort of like what you were saying with traditional boxing, with the gloves to make the fights last longer, so you don't fuck your hands up. And it's this. Yeah, and so you can hit harder. It's the same thing with wrist wraps. Like for anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, wrist wraps are, if you're watching this and not just listening on the radio, I'll try to do a good explanation of this. Maybe you could explain wrist wraps better than me. You're the boxer.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you were going to do a great job with your hand and everything. Yeah, so basically, it's to protect your hands and your wrist from keeping them strong, and that's going to make your hand stronger, and you're going to hit harder because you're protecting all your bones and joints and everything. And yeah, you probably were going to do a way better description.
Oh, basically what I was going to say is like it protects or it prevents the wrist from any kind of flexation going too far down or too far back. So that if you're watching, if your wrist goes backwards, like there's the angle. If your wrist goes back like that, you're going to snap your wrist. And same thing if you go too far this way, but what most people don't even understand is you actually want a little bit of a downward curve when you throw a punch to put your knuckles in line with your forearm. Yeah, exactly. And so that's what the wrist wraps basically do, is it's almost like a splint for your wrist to keep it in line so that when you make contact, especially when it's the tape, not just the fabric wraps, the tape basically turns your fist into a cast, and now you can throw, instead of maybe like a normal, quote unquote, normal bomb, now you can throw a nuke, comparatively. And same thing with like the gloves too. Obviously there's a point of diminishing returns with the weight of gloves. Like when you're training, if you got like 16 ounces, like your arms get tired way faster than with 8 ounces, but sorry, when I say 8 ounce and 12 ounce, that's the weight of the padding inside the glove. But again, all that's just to protect your hands. It's not to protect your opponent. And I think people kind of often, well, like the promoter of the show last night, he's like, yeah, doesn't the helmet? I'm like, no, it doesn't do shit. Well, I mean, it stops cuts, and that's kind of it. And also disrupts peripheral vision. That's the other thing. That's the other thing it does.
I've always hated them, and it sounded so stupid, but same thing. Like it's because it doesn't. I almost felt like it was worse. It's like it's centralizing those shots, and it's just like I always hated it. I did not like getting hit with it. It was not very helpful. It doesn't protect your bell from being.
No, not at all. When it's sort of like helmets in football, it kind of gives you a false sense of security. You go, oh, I've got a helmet on, I can just smash. It's like, well, no, your brain is like, if you took like a bouncy ball and put it into a half full jar of water and just slosh that jar around, the ball's going to smash off the sides. That's what your brain's doing inside your skull, and that's what a concussion is, for anybody that doesn't know. And that doesn't change just because you put padding on the outside of the jar. Like, the ball is still going to clank off the side. So it's, helmets don't do anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not true. But they don't do what most people think. So, yeah, I mean, we wear them to, like, when we spar, in case, especially when, like, some of my training partners are gearing up for a fight or something, we'll throw the helmets on, especially if we're doing, like, a lot of clinch work, because you don't want to accidentally clash heads and somebody gets split open, and it's like, oh shit, now I can't fight because I have stitches. Like, that's no good. But that's, like, cuts. That's all they're for, in case any. And I'm curious what you think about standing 8 counts, because I kind of have a problem with standing 8s, because in my opinion, it gives you enough time to sort of clear the cobwebs to take more punishment. In the kickboxing fights that I've had, the one that I was talking about where I took that liver shot, I got 2 standing 8 counts in 3 rounds, and really all it did was give me enough time to go, like, I'm not quitting, I'm just going to continue to get fucked up for another 3 minutes, is basically that's really all it did, was enough for my pride to kick back in. I'm curious how you feel about them, especially given head trauma circumstances.
Yeah, dude, you hit it right on the nail right on the head with that. They're not great for protecting your head, right? Like you're 100% right. I had a few standing 8 counts in my day, and amateur boxing, you see it a lot. And when you're getting a standing 8 count, it's because you got your bell rocked pretty good. And yeah, it just gives you enough time to think, okay, yeah, I'm good enough to keep going. I'm going to keep going, and because that's what most people do, and they're just going to keep going. And it's not good for the head. I remember I think I had 3 standing 8 counts in one of my last boxing bouts, and it was just like it tests you, and like I probably should have said, no, I'm good. That's probably enough for me. But it's just as a fighter, you don't, and most people are gonna think about it and think, okay, I'm good enough now, and just gonna go take a more of a beating. So I'm kind of with you on the. In theory, I like the idea of it, but Yeah, in practice, it's it's a little different because you're right. It just gives basically the person enough time to get their senses back, enough to be like, yeah, I'm okay to go maybe take another beating. It's a tough one, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want to take the probability away that like it's possible to come back. Like we've all seen people rally, and I don't want to. I never want to deny a fighter the chance to overcome adversity, right? Because that's totally. We've all seen it. It's super, and it's those are my favorites when you think like this dude is right on the brink and then he rallies and he ends up taking it. You're like, holy shit! Like Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman as a great example, right? And Anik even says like that is not the cloth from which he is cut, and then bam, bam, that right fake into the left head kick, fucking gorgeous, right? Like right out of a movie. Like if you saw that in a movie, you'd be like, bullshit. So I love the idea of giving the fighter a chance to rally, but at the same time, like if you look at a lot of MMA, no standing 8 counts. It's like, but because it can go to the ground, I guess, and with boxing, that's not really an option. I don't know. I wonder if there's a better, a safer way, I guess. But also, I'm a bass player, and nobody should listen to me about rules for fighting.
No, I think that you're bang on with it though, man. It is like because you don't really see it in pro boxing, not definitely not as much. But yeah, I'm with you. It's such a tough one because you definitely want to see you want the person to get the chance to come back. But yeah, if you're getting a couple standing 8 counts in a fight, you're obviously getting drilled pretty hard.
Yeah, yeah. It's scary. It's scary. You know, you get one brain. You know, and I love the fact that you're really looking out for that aspect in your fighters. I think that's super dope. On that topic, we're almost out of time for the radio portion. If you're cool with it, I'd love to keep talking. We have an overtime segment if you want to keep going. But before we get into that, if you can just let everybody know, I guess, when the fight card is happening, where it's happening, where they can get tickets, all the social media stuff, the website, all that. If you want to hit that now, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the official Fight Federation, you can go online at officialfightfederation.com, get your tickets there, check out the fight card. It is May 9th in Barrie, Ontario at the Sadlin Arena. It's yeah, tickets are on sale now. We are just under 2 weeks away. It is going to be an incredible card. I guess yeah, we're about to announce. I can drop it on here. We have secured the top prospect in Canada. Hunter Lee is going to be fighting. He's 2-0, and this nobody wants to fight this guy. He's an absolute stud, and he's going to be fighting Derek Age Day, who is coming from Texas to fight him, and it's going to be a beauty. I can't wait. I haven't been able to announce it yet because the commission is just going to clear it. It's just waiting to be approved, and we're super stoked about that.
That's awesome. This comes out next week, so everything should probably be cleared for you by then. So no, yeah, yeah, I guess so. Damn, May 9th. I don't have a gig that night. I would love to come check it out.
100%, man. Let's go. I got your tickets.
Oh, fucking A. Thank you, man. That's exciting. I haven't seen live fights in person in about a year. Yeah, last year was the last one I saw. So very, very exciting.
Go. Nice.
All right, cool. Overtime. Here we go. All right. So yeah, sorry, man. I'm so stoked I love this shit. I geek out so hard, and most of some of my martial music friends are also martial artists, but most of them are not. And my wife likes it that I like it, and she never wants to talk about the game with me the same way that she never wants to talk about music theory. She doesn't give a shit, and that's fine. I get it. Like, we've been together 20 years. It's old hat for her. But so anytime I get to talk to somebody else, I'm like, yay.
I feel you.
There's an organization in Peterborough. It's associated with Wacko Kickboxing. It's called the Quest. We have fights here every once in a while, and then we have the first Peterborough Open BJJ tournament coming to town in September. I want to say it's September 21st, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, we have a couple of events happening here. You should come down, man. It would be really fun.
I'd love to. That'd be awesome.
Sweet. My striking coach and my BJJ coach, they own the gym that I train at, and they put on these events. So it'd be, yeah, they're small local events, but they're really fun, and everybody comes and has a good time, and yeah, it's a hoot. So it'd be really fun. And I don't know if you'd ever be interested, but I'd love to come work out with you sometime.
Dude, 100%. I'd love that. Yeah, man. Anytime, let me know.
Okay. Awesome. We'll set something up in the future, but yeah, okay. So, I guess you're the organizer, you're the promoter, so you probably can't say if you have a favor for who's going to win these upcoming fights. That's
oh man,
no, yeah. Okay, don't worry about it. That's conflict of interest. I'm sorry. Never mind. That's no good.
Because so I manage a few of them, right? So I'm going to be in the corner for some of them, and it's kind of a conflict of interest, but in the same breath, it's just like it is what it is, right? Like I'm not going to show favorites, but I kind of have to a little bit if I'm in one of their corners. It's right. It's but yeah, but like you, I'm a huge fan of the fight game. Mad respect for everybody. Like you were kind of saying before, like I've become friends with nearly everybody I've fought ever. Like even as I had a street fight in school, like a high school fight, did a pretty big number on the guy. It was pretty bad for him, but I ended up becoming friends with him after. Like everybody said I like kicked the shit out of him, like into a better person. Like, but because so one of those, at the time this was kind of an asshole and started stuff, and I was like, okay, let's go then. I guess that's what we're gonna do. And it's and then became friends with him. Everybody like Tamaki, to text and talk to Tamaki all the time now too. Like when you step in the cage or the ring or whatever with somebody, it's like you create a bond that's just like nothing I've ever felt. Like you were in a band, you know how it is with bandmates. Like there's this chemistry. When you fight somebody, it's just like a piece of your soul is with them. It's a weird thing.
100%. It's funny actually. A bandmate of mine, he's the drummer. So typically, as I'm sure you know, bass players and drummers are usually like this already. He's also one of my main training partners, and for kickboxing. Not he doesn't really do the jits, which I'm trying to change that. I think he should have a ground game too, because then we could be the world's most deadly rhythm section, and. But now that's also with comparing us to other musicians that probably don't train, so the bar is pretty low. So, but I 100% agree. Like, and even the dude that the last fight that I had with him, like in the backstage after the fight, it was just nothing but complimenting each other, and now I mean, like. It was I'm not going to try to sugarcoat. He beat the fucking brakes off me. Like it was not even close. Also it was kind of weird. Like there was last minute like sort of mix up. I was under the impression we were fighting at 150. So I was 150 and he was like 175.
Whoa!
Yeah, he beat the fuck out of me.
Oh, dude, yeah, I did that once. It's not. There's a reason why you should stay in the weight classes, right? It makes such a crazy difference.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, just speaking about weight classes, weight cutting is something that I think a lot of people on the outskirts don't understand, because we were talking about the mindset and mentality and just testing yourself. It's not just getting in the ring or the cage or on the mats. It's what it takes to even get just to the arena to do it in the first place. I'm sure you've had a number of weight cuts. I would be very interested to hear not only your I guess your dietary and supplementation approach to that, and when you start to cut, but also the thought process and the emotional toll that shit can take.
Dude, that's a good one. This is a good overtime section here. That's the weight cutting is just such so interesting. Again, with the on a different approach with it now as a promoter. I just had to kind of deal with that recently. One of the guys was going to cut to a lower weight class than he's used to been fighting, and the commission wanted him to show a weight check of where he is now, and he was too far away. They said for him to like, and I'm like, again, Ontario is. I want to commend them for the amount that they really look after the fighters' health and safety and everything, right? Because the weight cut thing is it's a problem really in the fight game for the most part. Like I've seen guys cut 30 pounds in 72 hours, like just wild stuff. I personally I'm a wellness coach, and I work with like weight management and stuff like that already. That was kind of part of what got me back into the fight game, because I was already like really on the weight game. So for myself, I don't cut a whole ton. Like I was walking around at like 165 like a couple of years ago and fighting at 155. And now and it was a super easy cut, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't really try and cut much. And then so from there it was like, well, I should fight at 145 because that's silly. So I basically walk around at 155 almost all the time now. And then to cut, like I think I'm 150-ish now. I was getting prepared to fight May 9th. That was the plan. I was going to be fighting on that card. But I'm suspended in Ontario. So I could fight anywhere else, but in Ontario, because my last two fights I lost by TKO within a 6-month span, I had a 180-day suspension in Ontario, which I didn't know. I was asked to fight in Alberta like a month ago, but I turned it down because I thought I could fight here. But I'm not available until May 29th, which again, I commend the commission for really looking out for people. Pissed me off, but
Sure.
but it worked out for the best, because I mean, it is a full-time job to put this thing together, to be I am the matchmaker for it as well. And
Oh wow, really? Holy shit! You're like a real ringmaster, huh?
well, I'm the kind of guy that I like if I'm doing something, I'm all in with it, and with this it was my baby, and I wanted to like for this first one I asked the commission, like, can I do it all? And they're like, well, you can. You need to have at least backups in every spot. But I was like, wicked. So yeah, I was gonna fight in it too. Luckily enough, I was suspended because it would have been way too much. I'm noticing now, like even just being able to like, okay, stop, focus on training and the fighting, and focus on this, putting this best card together, and it needed to be done. So it
Yeah.
worked out for the best.
Yeah, holy smokes, man. I couldn't imagine trying to train for a fight at the same time. That's fucking insane. Like,
Yeah,
just,
it was. I will say, most people warned me, and I was going to do it. I was dead set on it, and luckily enough, I'm not allowed because it was stupid. It was insane, and it was not smart.
that's, well, I don't know if I would say it's not smart. It's just that, like, maybe overly ambitious would be a nicer way to put it.
Yeah, a little too ambitious, I guess. And I would have 100% done it, and it would, but something would have suffered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it wasn't me getting my ass kicked, the show might not have been, as good as it could have been. Like,
Yeah.
there's something's gonna suffer.
Yeah. Well, it's that whole spreading yourself too thin sort of idea, right? Like, so I'm, as much as I would love to see you fight in person, I'm glad that you're not doing it this time. Also, just to clarify, for the 180-day suspension thing for people, just so that you know, like exactly what James is talking about. If you get TKO'd too many times or completely knocked out, the whole reason you get suspended is to give your time. See, there's concussions coming through. It's to give your brain time to recover, so that, because when we were talking about every time you get every time you get your bell rung, you're more susceptible. There's a serious danger window of time when you get really cracked that if you take another one, it's bad fucking news for your brain. So that's why it's the 180 day, just for anybody that wasn't aware. So, because
thank you for clearing that stuff up. I just say, don't think about it.
Well, sure. Yeah. Well, the half of the show is talking to musicians or actors or whatever, right? So I love getting fighters on whenever I possibly can, because it's the other huge part of my life that I've done since I was fucking basically a toddler. What are you when you're 4? Are you a toddler when you're 4?
Yeah, I think you're a toddler still. I don't know. Something along those lines.
Close enough. So it's like, I mean, it's combat is the only sport I've ever given a shit about, like, or even known anything. Like, if you were to ask me about baseball or hockey or any of that stuff, I have no fucking idea. When I was 6, I took a skate in the face, and that was the end of hockey for me, like, immediately. So I was like, yep, cool. Almost lost my eye. I'm out. This is scary shit. I'm going to go back to punching and kicking people in the face where it's safe.
I love it.
So, I try to keep in mind that there are people listening to this that have no fucking clue what I'm talking about or what the fighter is talking about when we're in it. Because now, for anybody that knows, I'm sorry, I'm saying stuff that you're like, yeah, this is like no shit. But just to clarify for anyone that's on the outskirts, there you go. Yeah, no problem. So, but man, yeah, that's wow. I can't believe you were going to do this. Sorry, back to weight cutting though.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I like to do it, nice and healthy. You see guys sweat it at, like, the most common practice is guys just dehydrating themselves, right? Like, fully dehydrating themselves, really, like, it's not a great practice. It's not the healthiest thing to be doing. And you see it all the time. And I'm not a fan of it. So I'm with the commission on that. It sucks as a matchmaker and a promoter because losing fights because of it. But again, the end of the day, the fighter safety is the first thing that they have in mind. So it is awesome to see that they really do they do practice what they preach on that, and they're not just allowing stuff like that to happen. It threw me for a loop because I'd never had anybody ask, like, pre-weight, like, you just get to weigh-ins and the guys they make weight. You don't ask questions, they just get it done.
So does the Ontario Commission do like hydration testing, or is it just simply like a pre-weight test?
It was just a pre-weight.
Oh, okay, because I know ONE FC has the hydration testing to make sure that people aren't. I think a lot of people are still kind of juking the system a little bit, because you see some things, you're like, how the fuck are you 135?
Yeah, come on.
You were for 15 minutes, you fucking liar, and
so true. No, it's just that hydration clause is I love that thing. I still am not 100% sure how they do it, or like how it's actually tested, but I love that theory and the thought on it, because you see it more and more. The weight game, like you're talking about, it's a whole fight in itself. Like people are really, it's an advantage, right? If you can cut, like, even at 145, I'm still kind of a small guy. I thought I was going to be, a massive 145, but I'm like, nah, these guys are cutting from 170, 175.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. Dude, like I walk around like 153, 154. So when I cut to 150, I was like, I'm losing 3 pounds. This is stupid. And so, like, because I hate weight cutting too. So when I would do it, I would go down to 145 also. And same thing. I was like, I'm 5'9", and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be one of the bigger dudes. Nah, not even close. Like, I'm not even one of the average dudes. I am a shrimp. And it's like, holy shit. Fuck, okay, cool. Like, and the whole time you're watching people eating pizza and donuts and like Reese cups and shit. You're like, no, do you want some? And you're like, don't. Yeah, it's like, don't. Why would you ask? I'm okay.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. I'm curious, how many when you're in a cut, how many weeks out do you start? Like, okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, you usually have like a 6 to 8 week training camp before a fight to not only study your opponent but get into peak physical condition, sharpen all your skills, et cetera, et cetera. And then usually the really hard training kind of tapers off at the end, and then people start their weight cut just to catch up everybody that might be listening. When you're doing all of that, when do you start to, I guess, taper off the really hard training and start getting into more of the cutting and recovery?
Usually, like, I would like 2 weeks out is kind of when I'm like, okay, start more of the recovery mode now. Not gonna go crazy, training at this point. We might do some running or whatever, but nothing crazy. Start to let the body recover. And really, for myself, I probably already started cutting, and I try and get to a point where I'm only cutting a couple pounds, like before the actual fight. It's like usually 3 to 4 pounds kind of thing by the time, like, I've noticed the day of or day before. What I've been doing is kind of like a 12 to 24 hour fast almost. Like, I'll go, I won't have dinner the night before weigh in, and then I'll basically cut out water probably by like not long after dinner time, like just sort of cut everything out that night and then go the day without having anything. And it's worked so far. It's just been basically, 4 pounds.
Wow. So then previous to that, it's just like kind of watching the diet and maybe like a sloping caloric deficit on the way as you get closer and closer.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And so like probably a month to 6 weeks out, I'm just already starting to cut back on the food. I got a pretty good weight loss program that I've been doing for like 10 years ish. So I just get back into that routine, and it's it's pretty good, and it's worked for me for quite a while now. So.
Dude, that's awesome. That sounds smart too, because like some dudes just go ham, like you were saying, like with the water cutting. Like, do you do water loading at all, or not really?
I do a bit, yeah. Like, I mean, I try, and I almost always have like a 2 liter bottle of water that I'm smashing water all day. So yeah, I do kind of water. Like, I'm always sort of water loading. Like, I make sure that, because the hydration thing is just, on average, normal human beings are dehydrated.
Oh yeah.
Right? People are not drinking enough water, but I try and make sure I'm always smashing water and like way more than I should be. And I barely even get more than what's optimal.
Yeah.
And I drink a lot of water.
It's crazy, right? Like, just as an example, for anybody that this is overtime, so people will be watching this. It's a video version for overtime. I'll have probably like 5 or 6 of these in a day. And even that, sometimes I still feel dried out. It's crazy. So, and it's really funny. A buddy of mine, guitar player. He's actually it's super impressive. He's a recovered addict, and like literally almost died. And he is now getting, not only is he sober now, but he's actually getting healthy, like getting physically fit and all that kind of stuff. I was like, dude, because he was drinking like nothing but coffee and Red Bull, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, like you're gonna get fucking rhabdo. Like, for anybody that doesn't know, rhabdo, I can't pronounce the end of it. Rhabdomyelitis, is that how they say that? I don't know. It's your kidneys basically start shutting down. It's not quite oh fuck, what is that other term? When you go into kidney failure. Anyway, basically it's borderline that, and your piss like starts turning brown, and it's real bad. So you got to start drinking water. And I was like, I had this like huge hydro flask with me. I was like, you should be drinking at least one of these a day, bare minimum, just to start. And about 2 weeks later, he sends me this text. He's like, Jesus Christ, dude, how much do you pee? And I was like, a lot, probably almost every 2 hours I gotta take a squirt. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot, dude. But you get used to it and it's good for you. So you should be. It was like just do it. And it was so because the whole text was nothing but caps. It's like, okay, I can. It's like you're screaming at me, and that's fair. That's fair because if you are that. If you're drinking nothing but coffee and Red Bull, you're going to be super dehydrated and you probably pee once a day. And so so now it's like, he's like, God, it's like every 20 minutes I got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, well, good. You're probably flushing a lot of shit out that should not be in you in the first place. So anyway, so that's cool that, like a little bit of water. I like that you take a smart approach to your weight cut. That's because, like, man, people do serious damage to themselves. Renal failure. That's the word. I just could not. Fuck. Sorry. It was a late night last night. I got home at like 2:00 in the morning, and my daughter woke me up at. I have a 2-year-old. She woke me up at 6. So it was like, so I'm a little sleep deprived. So the brain's a little spongy today, but well, thank you. Actually, and this, I mean, yes, they do sponsor me, but the ANS, they have these really wicked nootropics. One of them's called Neuron and the other one's called Rave, and I find on it, like, legitimately, I find a huge benefit from them. And also creatine, actually. They're coming out now. A lot of studies have come out to show that creatine is not only good for muscle growth and recovery, but it is also a nootropic that works even if you're sleep deprived, which is really, really useful for me. And for anybody that's interested, ANS also makes they make creatine. So click the link in the description box.
Oh, look at that. Nailed it.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, in terms of supplementation, what do you like? What's your protocol? Because I'm sure yours is a lot more strict than mine would be.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I am a big advocate creatine. I make sure that I'm getting some of that into me. Collagen is something that I find super helpful. Like, it's for your skin, which is obviously, the most cells that we have in our body.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it's really, I think maybe it's just a placebo thing, but I find it's really good with recovery, and it helps, just with the muscles and stuff too. So yeah, I like vitamins. I don't want to drop any names since you got a sponsor of stuff, so I don't want to.
Oh, you, hey man, I'm gonna promote my sponsors. You can talk about anything you want.
Well, I'm actually I'm a Herbalife distributor, so I basically get all my supplements through myself. But yeah, like the vitamins. We were
Sorry,
talking like creatine.
what's it called? Say that again.
Herbalife. It's
Herbalife. Okay.
yeah. There we go. It's showing off the
Oh, nice.
cup there. So yeah, so I'm an independent distributor with Herbalife, so I get all my supplements through myself, and I've been able, like I said, wellness coaching with the
Oh,
weight
cool.
loss, so I'm able to help my fighters with that too, and that's another thing that you can kind of show them that you can promote a supplement stuff that you're going to use and maybe make some money out of it that way too. It's kind
Oh,
of a
dude,
cool thing.
that's awesome. What kind of? I'm just curious. What kind of stuff do you make with Herbalife? What do you put out?
So with so the weight loss thing, they're kind of mostly known for their weight loss. Like, they were sort of known as a weight loss company. So I do meal replacement shakes. That's kind of a big part of my weight loss for cuts and stuff. And the shakes just have all the nutrients and stuff that you get from a full meal. So I've been hammering at least one of those a day for the last 10 years. And so we got that, vitamins, the pre-workout, post-workout, the CR7, which is Cristiano Ronaldo helped formulate. It's almost like a high electrolyte drink. It's good for made for a soccer player. So to keep that endurance going and stuff
Oh,
while yeah, it's a lot. There's all kinds of products. It's a huge company, 95 different countries.
oh
So
wow.
yeah, it's cool, and again, like, gives the opportunity for guys. If I'm talking to a guy in Africa, even, like, the opportunity to just kind of to work for themselves and help grow their own business, promoting their own self with that, which is kind of cool.
Oh, neat. That's cool, man. Right on. So then, when you're prepping for opponents, do you do a lot of like film study and stuff too? Sorry, I'm always super curious about people's process.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like to get as much information as I can on the person, study the film, watch how they fight, kind of see if they have tendencies, if they do similar things, like habits. Yeah, I'm a big studier of film. I love watching fighters. I love watching what they do, try and figure out their thought process. Like to me, that's I love that part of the game. Like I was saying, the mental side of it, the fight IQ, that like the game of it, like
Yeah.
that chess piece, right? Like if
Hmm.
I know this guy and I know what he's gonna do, and I can have that in here first, it's
Right.
uh it's such a huge advantage. And I know that some guys, the best fighters do that, right? Like
Yeah.
you need to take every single advantage you can and take every piece of information you get and use that if you want to do it properly. I find, some guys are just maniacs and they'll just go in there and swing and they don't care what it is or how they're going to do it. But the good ones, they know what they're up against. They know the other guy as well as he knows himself. And yeah, I'm a huge I love to study as much as I can my opponent.
That's cool. So then, do you try to get training partners to emulate their style as much? I mean, obviously, it's never going to be the same thing, but if you get somebody to try to emulate it, you kind of get as good a feel as you can.
That's the idea. I find that I train my guys better than I train myself. I do that for them. Like if I
Right.
know who they're fighting, I will try and approach them and work the game plan out. Like I'll start working their game. Like I'll be that guy. Like I'll go with his style so they can getting used to that kind of whatever it is. If the guy's full pressure, then I'm going to pressure you a lot.
Right.
If it's a guy that's typically throwing a lot of leg kicks, well, I'm gonna do that with you.
Right.
So but personally, I should find people that try. Like I train myself pretty hard, just regardless on who it is. But when I, I I pay more attention to my guys fighters, and making sure they're ready than I do myself for the most part.
Okay. Cool. Um, so then, with your strength and conditioning, what would that like? What would a normal, I guess, the early part of the camp like? Um, I know most guys try to, for the most part, stay in decent shape, but like to use an expression, it's not necessarily exactly what's happening, but like let's say you're getting off the couch, as the expression goes, and like just getting back into camp. What is the maybe the first 2 weeks? What does that look like?
Yeah. Okay. So off the couch, it's like you said, I especially because I am older. I'm turning 43 in June. So like I'm past my prime. Some people would say I honestly am in the best shape of my life. I'm getting better daily. Like I do more push-ups now than I ever have in my life. I'm stronger. So you people can tell me whatever they want, but I know that like I'm still like I'm in prime peak physical condition right now, and I feel phenomenal. So I know I still got a few more years left in me. But again, like even the commission, they in Ontario, you're 45, they're not even gonna pass you. Like
Oh wow.
yeah, I didn't realize that till this. I submitted a couple 45-year-olds and they instantly were no good. So I got to get my fighting in Ontario soon,
Yeah.
or they're gonna be forced to retire. But yeah, like if I was getting back into it, it'd be like start off with getting some good running in, getting that cardio going, really get some good hit workouts going, and then start getting back into the if I hadn't been going like jujitsu, making sure we're getting that ground game rocking, and yeah, always getting the striking going. I'm throwing punches daily, and just if I was getting back into, I mean, again, this is something that it's become habit and rhythm, and I just pretty much do it as much as I can anyway. But
Right.
well, yeah, when it comes down to fully knowing that it's fight time and getting into camp, it's you gotta I'll be putting at least and at least an hour of solid training of some sort into it a day, and usually be really want to get into it, a couple of those, right? Couple different training sessions a day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So like 2 days probably then, maybe three. Three might be a lot.
Three's a bit much, but at least yeah, like at least two a day kind of thing. Like get up, get a good workout, get something in the morning, and then making sure that I'm hitting whatever gym, if it's jujitsu, if it's boxing, whatever it is, at least some sort of like fight training
Yeah.
and and just physically conditioning.
Very cool. Do you do a lot of wrestling or is it mostly just jits and striking?
It's mostly been jits and striking for like the last 10 years since I started getting into MMA. I've
Right.
always been a stand-up guy, right? I'm boxing and hockey fighting and like I like to stand and bang. I started training jiu-jitsu because that was, if I get to the ground, I'm screwed.
Oh yeah.
You need to know this game. Like you have to at least have some kind of, even for the defense on it, right? To know what you're looking at and then trying to avoid. So I love jits. It's awesome. Um, but I haven't committed to, you know what I mean? I haven't put in the full time. I started training jujitsu more than 15 years ago. And but I'm still a white belt. Like
Sure.
I I just go enough to keep, keep going, and which is kind of cool. I said I haven't competed in a jiu-jitsu tournament in probably 15 years,
Oh
but
wow. Wow.
I feel like I want to go back and compete because I do, like, yeah, I roll with, I'd say I'm probably at least blue level,
Sure.
like a
Sure.
blue,
Yeah.
because I roll pretty well with blue belts, and we usually have a pretty good standoff battle with most of them. So it'd be nice
Nice.
to, yeah, it'd be nice to go into a little tournament as a white belt still, I think.
Yeah. A sandbagger white belt, as they call
Oh
them.
man, a little bit.
No, I get it. We have or had actually all the sandbaggers that we had at. Do you know World Championship Martial Arts out of Peterborough?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so that's where I train.
nice.
So we had a couple of sandbaggers, but they got their blue belts, like all of them recent. No, we got one left. We got one left, and it's not me. I am a white belt. White belt. But it's fun. I love it. I don't get to train as regularly as I wish I could. But yeah, there's a couple of those dudes who are like, that's the wrong color. Like it's like, dude, you just pulled off an Ezekiel choke and no gi. Like, I don't think you're a white belt. But but now, to be fair too though, like part of it is like one of the big staples is like at our club, like unless you explicitly say you're never competing, you have to compete to progress. So because you got to test yourself, right? So but yeah, just on the stance of like the ground game and stuff like that, like there are a lot of like really slick strikers that know just enough grappling to not go down. Like Mirko Krokop was one of the first dudes that really, like back in the Pride days, when he was like the baddest motherfucker. Well, except maybe Fedor, because do you remember when he left head kicked Fedor and he just kind of like shrugged it off and then tapped him? Like, I don't know if like that. Oh, it was insane. For anybody that doesn't know who Mirko Krokop is, there was a saying when he was in his prime: right kick hospital, left kick morgue. So, or no, cemetery. Sorry, left kick cemetery. That's what it was. And this other dude who was arguably, a lot of people say that John Jones is the greatest heavyweight of all time, but
There's an argument for Fedor for sure.
yeah, and it's of all time is so hard to. That's hard to quantify. Best of his era. That's a lot easier to say, undoubtedly. But man, like the fact that Fedor ate the gnarliest head kick that was in their organization in that era and ate it like a fucking tic tac. It was just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna choke you now, and did it. Yeah, dude, unreal. That
Yeah, like nobody takes that. Nobody took that kick. Like it's yeah, you're right. It was people were unconscious. Like
yeah, unreal. Although here's a cool argument though, just because we're talking about Fedor. Um, Fabricio Verdum, I'm pretty sure tapped him, right?
that sounds correct. Yeah, you think you I'm not 100% certain, but that sounds right.
I gotta double check that. I might be talking out of my butt, but or if not Fedor too, but Fabricio Verdum tapped so many people, and like he beat Cain Velasquez and had Velasquez gassed out, and his name was Cardio Kane. Like
Yeah,
a
this is
lot,
wild. The stuff people can do.
right? Now, in Kane's defense, he kind of fucked up. He didn't go to Mexico, like elevation, like how high above sea level you are. For anybody that doesn't know, severely affects how much your blood gets oxygenated, which completely reduces your cardio capacity. So Verdum went to Mexico, I think, like 2 months early to get ready, and Kane was there like maybe a week or two. So he didn't have the same time to have his body acclimate, and I think that's the biggest part of the reason. But also, if I'm, man, I might be screwing this up, but I don't think so. I think Verdum opened that fight with a flying sidekick, which is mental. And then he tapped Kane too. Was it an armbar? I want to say it was an armbar.
Remember, that's so wild to think. Eh?
I know, but it was crazy. The fact, and like the dude's name was Cardio Kane. Nobody could keep, and like and this is a heavyweight too. Normally heavyweights have like, and this is maybe not entirely fair, but I feel like it's pretty accurate. Most heavyweights have 2 good rounds in them before their cardio really plummets. Kane would go 5 rounds and barely be breathing hard. It was insane. So the fact that Verdum was able to gas him out, it was like, what is happening right now? This is crazy. And one thing that bums me out that we never got but came close to was UFC was trying to get Fedor from Pride, and when they were putting that together was when Kane was like in his prime, and we were like, man, we were just a couple of negotiations away from Kane versus Fedor, and god damn, that would have been so great.
The world was deprived of something there with not having Fedor in the UFC at that time, right? It was
Right.
just like it's just like, yeah, the best fighters in the world were in UFC, except for the best fighter in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
It was hard, man.
I
And did you ever
know.
hear the story about the negotiations with Dana and Fedor? They like met on an island or whatever, and
Yeah, dude, and some I don't want to say Russian mob, but maybe some allegedly maybe almost Russian mobsters were like, this is how much you're going to pay us, and nothing worked out unfortunately for the fans. It just kind of went sideways. But I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that Fedor is looking at doing bare knuckle.
no way. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that, man. It's so here's the again with the bare knuckle thing, right? You're watching these guys that are like 50
Yeah.
dominate the sport because you can do it. You can come back from especially bare knuckle boxing, right? You don't have to worry about your limbs getting torn off or all like you could have bad knees and still go in there and swing away and again the damage to your head the head trauma is not there. You're gonna get popped good and you're gonna drop likely like
Yeah.
it's yeah the guys that are swinging the fights aren't they're not going the distance for the most part so
Oh no, those fights don't last long. And like, man, what a fucking twist that Mike Perry for a while was like the best ever at it. Crazy, right?
it's different. It's a whole different beast. Like it's hilarious. People tell me that I'm crazy. But I'm like, yeah, all right. Like MMA fighters are like, you're nuts though. Bare knuckles fucking crazy. I'm like, I guess, but it's like I think, and I know that it's actually safer, and it just it definitely it's got a cool. stigma to it, and it for sure is badass. But it's like I find it funny when people are like, "You're crazy for doing it." Like, I don't know.
Which is funny for an MMA fighter to say, because if you think back to the 90s, like MMA was called human cockfighting by like really prominent politicians, and it's like, yeah, maybe the optics of putting a couple of dudes in a cage, that looks a little fucked up, and especially considering in the early days it was billed as no holds barred, like no rules essentially, except for what was it like
no eye
gouging and no fish hook,
no eye gouging, fish hook, biting.
Yes,
and I think I think that was originally, that was it. Like you could hammer them in the groin. Like that was legal.
God damn it! Who was it? I'm drawing a blank on their names, but it was like the red Speedo trunks. He was caught in a front headlock, almost looked like it was like a shitty guillotine on the side, and the other dude was just feeding right hands right into his dick.
Yeah, the massive cock punches, just the nonstop. Yeah.
Dude. Like unreal. And there was another one. There's so many fights to try to keep in my head, and I don't have the same kind of vault for that I do for songs, unfortunately. But there was one where a dude reached into another dude's shorts and just started twisting his sack. You're like, it was okay.
Yeah, Gary did that.
Okay, I thought it was. Pickup. Yeah. Okay. I thought it, but I didn't want to say it because I know you're affiliated, and if I was wrong, I was like, I don't want to make it seem like okay, but it was okay.
Gary for sure. Yeah, he's stood. Yeah, and he's said that story a few times. I think he said it on Rampage's podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh man, Rampage Jackson, what a bad motherfucker that dude was in his prime, eh? Holy shit, he was scary.
Oh, he was awesome. Just a fucking monster.
Dude, he is the reason that when a dude starts to stand up, I let go of a triangle.
Yeah. Slam. That slam. Oh my God. I love it. Oh, what a guy.
Who did he slam? I'm gonna have to look it up because I can't remember.
It wasn't Griffin, was it?
No, it was in Pride.
Oh, it was in Pride.
Yeah. He probably did it a few times.
Oh yeah, I feel like he did it a couple times. But yeah, the big one, I guess that was
the one where it was a Rona. It was a Rona that he slammed. And dude, because it wasn't just the slam on the back of the head into the canvas, it was that they clunked foreheads like right after, and Arona went to the shadow realm, and it was so scary. And then he did the big like the howl thing after, where you're like, what the fuck?
This is a monster. So cool. Fucking coolest thing in the world.
Oh man. And then when he was a coach on Tough, and he and Evans are like, he's like, you a bitch. You treat me like a bitch. You a bitch. Treat me like a bitch. It's like, what the fuck? And then he ripped the fuck, like just destroyed that door, and you're like, Jesus.
Looked like it was made out of paper.
It did, yeah. It was crazy. Like it was like a kid tearing up construction paper, 100%. It was fucking terrifying. Like
just a monster.
Unreal. He was and he had that big ass chain that he would wear too in it.
Buddy, so badass.
He was so fucking cool, and like, I mean, he still is. He still is. He's still the man, but I mean, like, when he was in his prime, he was terrifying. He was like the only dude. That wasn't afraid of oh my God. He was the coach that he coached against Chael Sonnen. His nickname was the Axe Murderer.
Oh, Vanderlei.
Vanderlei Silva. Yeah, he was. Oh man, God. It's hard to pull names nowadays because there's so many fighters that are.
So yeah, I can't keep up with them now. It's.
Oh my God! And across and you try to think about the fighters say across because PFL and Bellator have amalgamated, and then you've got ONE FC that has they've got their MMA branch, they've got their Muay Thai branch, and they've got their Jiu-Jitsu branch. So that's like 3 organizations in one, and then Bellator and PFL is 2 organizations in one, and then the UFC and Cage Warriors and oh my God, it's like,
right.
and like every one of them has like a roster of 500 fucking killers, and you're like, Jesus, how am I supposed to remember all these people?
It's insane. Did you see the GFL stuff when they did like the draft and that? Were you paying any attention to that?
No, I'm only peripherally aware of the GFL. I've been like, I'll be honest, I've been super swamped, not only musically but with getting the podcast rolling. So, because this is a shocking amount of time commitment.
Yeah, it's wild. Hey, you gotta put the. It's like anything else. You gotta put a lot of time into it, really, right?
Yeah, and then even just to be able to be a better conversationalist, which I think I'm getting better at it now, but it's literally like anything. It's reps over time, and that's the only way to get good at any skill that you're trying to achieve. So it's and also, I have a wife and a toddler at home, so that's, I have to try to balance all the job stuff I'm doing with not being an absent figure at home, which I think you mentioned you had kids, right?
Yeah, 2 little boys. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. It's awesome. They're so much fun.
How
But yeah,
old?
8 and 5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have them training at all?
The the odd time they
Yeah.
don't listen to me. I might get them into to train with somebody like soon, but the older one isn't really too into too many sports. He really likes like drawing and that, which is cool. He's like, we're gonna probably likely to the other one's a little maniac. I think he might be a scrapper. He seems to be. But yeah, it's cool. Like my wife's an actor as well, so the kids,
Oh, nice.
yeah, the kids kind of got that art bug in them a little bit, which is cool.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's does it I'm curious, like with the high likelihood of, with combat sports that, even if you win the fight, you can still get fucked up. Does your mentality change? Did it change after you had kids?
So crazy, right? Like I got back into the fight game after having kids. I was
Whoa.
Yeah, like it just changed. Things changed in me, right? Like I wanted to be the father that like they could look up to, and like I tell them, you could do anything you set your mind to, and I'm like, I set my mind to becoming a professional fighter, and I want to show you guys this is a thing. It's tough because I get all the people think about your kids and what you're doing. Like a lot of people want me to stop this, right? Like,
Sure.
and they think, well, think about your kids. I'm like, well, that is 100% what I'm thinking about all the time. Like that, I'm doing this. It sounds people like it's a whole different mentality, and people can't wrap their head around it. But I'm like, I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this to show them that you can make your dreams come true. You can accomplish anything. It's incredible that I'm a professional fighter. Like it's mind blowing. I became a professional fighter at 41 years old. Like most people retired like that's when they're calling it a career. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm just getting started. Like there's no reason why, you know what I mean? When you put something in here and you just go after it, like go after it and don't quit. Because there was so many times I was like, I'm gonna quit if I don't do it by 40. I'm gonna pack it in, and I was going to. My 40th birthday hit, and I was like, well, shit. I guess that dream's done. And then luckily, I got a call like a couple months after my birthday to for a fight, and I was like, all right, maybe it's not done. Let's go.
Dude, that's so crazy. That's awesome, man. That is really awesome, and it's a beautiful thing too, because regardless of the endeavor, if you can show your kids that all it takes is perseverance and dedication, and you can make whatever it is you want a reality. Like that's a powerful lesson and example. And then, like you said, you're training other people too. So like putting that out just in the world in general. And anytime anybody hears you talk about it, that's, who knows what the ripple effect of that could be, and that's such a powerful, I guess, position to put yourself into, and like scary because there's a lot of responsibility in that. And also with the, the physical consequences that do exist with the one with your undertaking in particular, it's high, but man, at the same time, like the reward of that's pretty fucking awesome. And the fact that also through it, you're generating your own fight promotion. And, that's not only giving fighters an opportunity, but that's creating more than just fight opportunities. It's creating jobs for other people within, like, you need organizers, you need people, you need a crew to put, the mats or whatever. I'm curious, is it a ring or a cage or cage? Right. So, nice. So like, yeah, of course. But like, like people got to put that together. You need a lighting crew. You need a sound crew. You need,
the amount of people that are going to have to be involved. Like it's a production. It's cool. Like you said. And I do really, really pride myself on that. I hope to be an inspiration, and I hope to grow this thing to epic proportions, not for what it'll do for me, but what it'll do for the combat sports in general and the community. Like you said, it's just an amazing group of people that are involved, and I'm really excited to like, open up doors and create more opportunities for people.
That's awesome, man. That's very much the rising tide lifts all ships kind of mentality. And I think that's super important because sometimes people get a little bit self-obsessed when they're trying to do something. And because let's be honest, like it's a very personal focused thing to be an athlete or to be a musician. You have to focus on your improvement and your growth. But if you zoom out a little bit, which it really seems like you're doing, when people zoom out a little bit, you can create opportunities for more than just yourself, and that's a really cool thing, and that I think it's beautiful what you're doing. So, we're getting close to the 2-hour mark here. So one more time, I know it flies by, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. This has been really fun, and it's I would love to set up a time to come train and like just hang out and get some work in, because I love sweating and like my kicking game is way superior to my punching game, so hanging out with a boxer is probably something I could really use because my hands are dog shit. So
let's go. All right, I love it. Yeah, man.
Sweet.
I love working with people with the throwing punches and getting that proper stuff going.
Right on, man. I could definitely use some pointers for sure, and also just it's just fun. Like this has been such a fun conversation. I would love to, also have that feel of like, okay, let's work.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so, anytime. Let's go. Let's do it.
Fucking A. When this is all done, I'll shoot you an email with some potential dates and stuff, and we'll film it too, and then we'll put it out on the the streaming platforms and stuff too. Because actually, I don't know do you know who Dominic DeFalco is? He's a kickboxer. In 2 months, he's gonna go fight for the world title.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna. Actually, I need to talk to you about this, Chris. On May 2nd, I'm going to go spend a training day with him and do my best to keep up, which is going to be laughable. And then 2 days later, we're going to do a podcast about it because I'm going to definitely need a day to, and I'm probably going to be a total slug on the show because I don't think 24 hours is going to be enough to recover. But anyway, this is when I talk to fighters, this is something I want to start doing with them is like go train with them and see what they do, and also highlight just how fucking hard it is, because I think that people on the outside, because nothing pisses me off more to hear some like out of shape, just I don't want to be too harsh, but some if some fucking loser be like, oh, that guy's a bum, it's like, no, he's not a bum. That dude could eviscerate 90% of the population, and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I want to show how, because like for a hobbyist, for a hobbyist martial artist and musician, I'm in for my age. Like, I'm 40, and being an athlete is not what makes my money, but I'm still in decent shape. I want to show what the divide is from me to what these people, like, you know what I mean? It's like, look at the difference. It is a chasm. So I think it would be that would be really fun to hang out, get some work in, film it, and then show people how hard what you guys do is. And and I just, because I've got so much respect for all you guys, and it blows me away that you really do. You guys put life and limb on the line to entertain us, and I think it deserves a lot more respect than it sometimes get. I mean, the people that are into it, we all have the same adoration for it, but they're like, sometimes people getting Oscar wins are saying that if you end up with this stuff, you get MMA, and that's not the arts, and it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I want to try to highlight for, I guess, maybe less informed folks. Let's give it the respect it deserves. So
Nice.
that would be really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it, and I'd love to be part of that. That's wicked.
Sweet. Thank you very much. One more time, tell everybody where they can get tickets, where they can find you on like Instagram or TikTok or whatever you got, like all your socials, as well as the fight promotion.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, so you can find me on TikTok, the Thrust and Beavers. That's my rap name, Thrust and Beavers there. And then Dalzell James on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well, just James Dalzell. The Official Fight Federation, www.officialfightfederation.com. You can go and get tickets there. May 9th, we are at the Barry Sadlin Arena. Super stoked for that. So get your tickets. It's going to be a beauty.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. And just in closing, to everybody that helps this show be possible, thank you so much. James Dalzell, fucking A, man. You're cool as shit. And I really, really enjoyed this conversation, and I can't wait to hang out in person. And also, I can't wait to go see the fights on the 9th. That's super dope. And I'll shoot you some emails and stuff, and we'll work out some times and whatnot.
Fantastic, man. Thank you so much for having me, dude. It was an absolute pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
All right, cool. Thank you. Peace. Bye, everybody.